Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you different string methods in JavaScript. We will discuss about it. Let's have a look at it, what the agenda is. JavaScript string methods. So we will be covering string length, string slice, string substring, substring str, string replace all, string to uppercase, string to lowercase, string concat, string trim start, string trim end, string pad start, string pad end, string char at, string char code at, string split. Let's see them in action. Thank you. Okay, so following our agenda, let's begin with the string slice. Okay. So let's put in a string like let t equals to something, say A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. Okay. Oh, I forgot to miss the quotes. So all string materials must be within quotes, and if we want to print the length of this text, console.log, and we would say txt.length. This is a property. This is not a method. So if it had been a method, we would have given two parentheses, but this is a property, so we will not put anything. And we will try to print this one. So while we try to print that, let's say start with debugging, and the output says that it's 26 letters in the text. So that's giving us the length of the text. Okay, the length, I'm sorry. We began with the length. Now let's move on to the slice. So the slice would be, let's this is a method. Okay, it says it's a method. Okay, that's why we will put parentheses to it, and we would rerun that. Now I didn't say anything where to slice, so let's say we would slice it from 5th until 10th. Now is so it filtered out the 5th character until the 10th character, and it's showing us is so 1 2 3 4 until the 10th. Okay, so if let's say, so now this is about the slice. Moving ahead, we will go to, um, I'm sorry, little changes. So instead of providing two values, if I provided one, let's say 5, what does it do? Still gives us 5. Okay, so it's reading all the letters after 5. So let's say if 6, it's giving all the letters after the 6th. Okay, so let's say I would say reverse like a minus 2 from the right. Now moving ahead, we would go to substring and substr. So the same letters we would say str. See that one is a method, both are methods. Okay, so substr and substring both are methods. We would be using the substring. Let's say we would use substring from the 3rd until the 6th. That's giving us 456, so 4 5 and 6. Okay, from, so it's counting letters from 0. Okay, let's say from 0, and see that if we start from 0, it's reading letters from 1. Okay, so the indexing starts from 0. Now similarly we would do for substr, and see that same thing. Okay, so substr and substring, they're showing us similar results. So here I have mentioned like what we are going to look for if we are using both substring and substr. So see, if we are trying to print that, it will give us the same values starting from the beginning and the end. So let's make a little bit of change here, and I will put in 2, and in substr I will put in from 2 again, and let's see. See, the sub-str is only giving me 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's giving me 6. So it's taking the length, okay? From wherever I'm trying to print, it's giving me, it's taking the length from there, okay? Now you can see once again. So see, substring is giving us the substring, whereas sub-str is giving us the length of the substring, and starting from the number that we mentioned, okay, so from 6th it's giving us the length. Similarly, if we are trying to print the length of a substring and a sub-str, uh, even if I mention like any number within the uh, parenthesis, it's going to give me, so the last two digits, see the 5 and 4. So the first one is giving me 5 until 9th, so let's see, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's giving me the length from 5 to the ninth, whereas the substring, it's giving me the string. How many substrings after 5? So after 5, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the difference between a sub str and substring. Okay, now moving ahead, we will go to replace. So let's say, um, okay, for replace, I will create another page because sub-str and substring are a little difficult to understand. So you might have to go through with the code process. Sorry. I will put in here. Now sub-str is gone. Let's work on this thing, and I will take the same strings from here into page 2, and we will try playing with that one. So let's say the text is this one, and I want to do a replace. Let's say that will be txt dot replace. Txt dot replace. Replace is a method, so we will put parentheses, and I will provide an strings like, let's say, 2, 3 with 4, 5, and we will do this with another variable. Let's say d equals to this one, and I'm going to print console.log much d. Let's try to print this one. But I have to stop and re-begin. So here you can see that it's trying to print 145. Okay, you see 23 is replaced by 45. All right, so you can see that this is replacing the text. Okay, 23 with, let's say, yy. Redo that, and you can see that 23 is replaced by yy. So this is the case of replace. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. That's how you would replace things. Moving on to the next one, we will go for replace all. Okay, so replace all. Vd. Replace all didn't work. Let's see. replace all. I think this one will take all the strings and replace it with a completely new set of things. Okay. Oh, I did not print dd. Let's see. It's doing the same thing. So you can see that I'm trying to replace and use replace and replace all, but I don't get much of a difference. So it's pretty much the same here. Um, so it's not doing yeah, much of a difference here. So it's mostly used in case of one was used in Internet Explorer and one does not work in Internet Explorer. So that was an upgrade. Okay, let's move on to the other one. That's text dot two uppercase and two lowercase. Okay, so let's say we will make this thing to text. Okay, and then we will do instead of printing both of them, we will use only one, and we will do this two uppercase. Yes, and we will remove this. Let's see. Oh, okay. Why did it not work? Because DD is not there. Okay, you can see this two uppercase is working like this, and if I mark this one with some capital letters, and I do this with two lowercase, and we print that, so it's converting that to lowercase. Okay, let's try to have some lowercase in between and see. Still, it's converting all of them into lowercase. Okay, so that's the case of two uppercase and two lowercase. Moving ahead, we will use a concat. So concat will concat two texts, and it will give us the print. Let's say this one is mine, and let txt2 equals to yours, and we will try to do a concat txt. Let's say concat not using that one. Let's say txt dot concat B and C. So it's printing txt plus anything else. Okay. If I try to push in txt2 here, so that should, yeah, it's concatenating both the texts. Okay. So that's how you do the concat. Okay. That's like joining two strings. And for example, I didn't put anything here, and I try to do a concat, say two strings of JJ, and we'll do a comma and KK. Let's see what it's giving us. So JJ and KK are concatenated instead of taking this one. So if I put something here, it should concat that one as well. Okay. So that's how the concat works. Now moving ahead, we will have string trim. Okay. So trimming will be um, trim. We have trim. Okay. Let's see trim. dot trim, and I think I'll have to give some spaces. So that's going to, let's see if this one works. Okay. So let's say I have JJ here. Hmm. If I have spaces like this, okay, cool. So let's say I have some numbers in between and I'm trying to do a trim. String. It's trimming up all the leading and trailing spaces, okay? Both spaces from both sides, it's trying to trim that. Okay. Now, moving ahead, we will go for a trim start. And trim start, which means like it's going to start trimming from the beginning. So there are trailing spaces, but the leading spaces are trimmed. You see this, okay? Now, similarly, if I do the trim end, it's going to remove the ending spaces, but it will add the leading spaces, okay? I have added spaces. Now you can see that the text is moving towards the right, okay? But no spaces at the end. So that's trim start and trim end. Moving ahead, we will go to pad start and pad end. So instead of this one, I will put pad start and let's say pad start. Okay, we have to specify the maximum padding length. So let's say 5, and I will say pad start with a value. So let's say with j. Remove this one. Let's do that. So from the fifth position, it's doing a no with something else e. Okay, it didn't work. Let's say hmm, pad start needs. Okay, I need to make some changes here. So here you can see that this is the pad start and pad end. You can see that in let txt I have added 5, and the pad start I made like to pad with 4 D's, and it's printing. It's padding 4 until the fourth. Okay, so if I make it like 8, so it will pad it with 7 D's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, with 7. One minus letter, one minus character. So, and then whatever you put in here, it will pad it with that one. You can see this. Okay, so if I make it 2, it will going to pad it with 1 O. So that the same thing it's doing to do with the pad end, but it's after the character you specify. So after 5, it's adding 3 D's. Okay, so the total is of 4 characters, but it's taking up D's after the first character, or for 3 characters. All right, so that was about padding. Let's move ahead. All right, so after the pad start and pad end, we would move on to char at and char code at. Okay, so you can see that if I'm trying to print the char at, that's going to give me the character at this in this string, the location of the character, or you can say the index of the character. Okay, so if it starts reading from 0, it's trying to show us from 1. Now, if I try to do the same thing with char code at, that's going to give you the Unicode value of that character. So let's say we will print df, and now you see that's giving me the 103 as a Unicode character value for the second character, that's G. Okay, so that's for your char code at. Now, moving ahead, we will learn one more thing, that is property access. So property access is similar like an array. Okay, so let's say txt is the character. Um, wait, I'll do this in a different file. Let's say pj3. So here we will not use the cat things. We will use the property, like the thing to show the arrays. Okay, so let's say txt is the array, and I'm going to print the value of txt at one location, and it should show me the value of that one. That's going to show me the j. And if I say that's 8, 4. You see, this is the 8th and this is the ninth. So this is like an array. Okay. And now what else? If you try to assign something, it won't work. Okay. But if you try to assign, let's say, we'll pull this up, and at the 8th, I will try to assign, let's say, x, and I'll try to print that again here. That won't work. Still showing me this 4th. Okay. If I remove this one, it's not going to show me anything, right? So it cannot be assigned, but it's like a read-only value. If you want to read what's the character, then it will work. Okay. So this one works fine. Now moving ahead, we will go for a split. Okay. So let's say we will work on this one in, let's say, y, say view r, and I'll do x dot split. So which one is it? txt2. Okay. So let's do txt2 dot split. Split where? Split at the comma position. Let's try to print this one. See this. Okay. It's telling us that there are 4 members in the array, and it's splitting all of them. Let's try to add some more. Let's say a 6. Say u. There's 6 characters in the array, and it's printing it along with the splitting them up with the comma position. So you can do this with comma. You can do this with pipe, and you can do this anything. And okay, so let's say we will do it with spaces and see. 3 characters. It's trying to print 3 characters with space because we have that here. Okay, there are 3. Oh, let's remove this total thing, and I will say y space u space I o space b. I do that. I think there are 4 characters, and there are 3 splits. Okay, with space. Now you can do the same thing with pipe. You can do the same thing with any other character. And let's say we will, for all of them, let's say we will do this with txt. So what we will do is remove that. We'll do this with txt and see how. It's saying that there are 11 characters without with just a little bit of. It does. I mean, there is no separating character, but it's trying to treat that as an array. So it's showing up like these many numbers of characters in the string. Okay. If we're not adding anything inside the split. Okay. So you can also use a for each loop or like a for loop and try to figure out each one from that value. So like as we use the array, this one. So you can use that with split. Okay. All right, guys. So that was all about this video. We covered almost all of the string methods that we had prepared for. Okay. So yeah, we will have few more videos coming in. Until then, stay tuned, stay connected, and happy coding. Thank you.